Imagine a stadium not filled with fans, but with engineers, and not roaring crowds, but the deep, metallic scream of a jet engine spinning up for the first time. The year is 1947. The world has just survived its deadliest war, and now, a new kind of race is beginning, not for medals, but for speed, altitude, and dominance of the skies. At the center of that race stands an unassuming machine. No wings, no cockpit, no weapons, just spinning metal, fire, and pressure. Its name, the General Electric J47. This is not just the story of an engine. This is the story of America learning how to fly fast, and learning it the hard way. In sports terms, the United States didn't get off the line early. When World War II began, Germany and Britain were already experimenting with jet propulsion. The British had Frank Whittle, the Germans had the Me-262, the world's first operational jet fighter. Meanwhile, America, still dominant in piston engines, still trusting propellers, still confident that horsepower would be enough. But war doesn't wait for confidence. By 1943, American military planners realized something terrifying. The future of air combat would not belong to propellers. Jets meant higher speeds, greater altitudes, less vibration, and a whole new style of aerial warfare. So the US did what it does best under pressure. It copied, improved, industrialized, and scaled, and the first step was learning from others. The J47 did not appear out of thin air. Its DNA traces back to the British Rolls-Royce Derwent and Whittle designs, which the US licensed during the war. General Electric had already built America's first jet engine, the J31, based on British blueprints, but the J31 was a prototype athlete, raw, unpolished, and unreliable. The J47 would be different. This engine wouldn't just prove a concept. It would win championships. Let's break it down like a play diagram. The General Electric J47 is a single-spool turbojet engine, axial flow compressor designed for fighters and bombers. Key stats: the engine's box score, first run, 1947 thrust, -5 200 6000 lbf, depending on variant, length, -12 feet, weight, -2 300 pounds. Units built, over 35,000 engines. That number alone should make you stop. 35000 engines. That's not a niche experiment. That's a franchise dynasty. Before the J47, many jet engines used centrifugal compressors, simple, robust, but bulky. The J47 used an axial flow compressor. Air flows straight through the engine. Multiple compressor stages squeeze air progressively, allows for slimmer engines and higher speeds. This was a technical gamble. Axial compressors were harder to manufacture, sensitive to tolerances, prone to stall, but the reward, performance ceiling. This was the engine architecture that would dominate jets for decades. The J47 wasn't just fast. It was foundational. Every great engine needs a legendary aircraft. For the J47, that aircraft was the North American F-86 Sabre. If this were sports, the Sabre was the superstar wide receiver, and the J47 was the quarterback. Together, they changed the game. During the Korean War, the F-86 faced off against the Soviet MiG-15, another jet powered by an engine derived from British designs. This wasn't just dogfighting. It was engineering vs engineering. The J47 gave the Sabre smooth acceleration, high reliability, predictable throttle response. Pilots trusted it, and in combat, trust is everything. Speed grabs headlines, reliability wins wars. Early jet engines were notorious for flame-out, short service life, maintenance nightmares. The J47 wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to deploy at scale. General Electric solved problems the way champions do: iterative upgrades, tight manufacturing controls, massive logistics infrastructure. This engine could be swapped quickly, repaired efficiently, and kept flying. That's not glamorous. That's dominance. The J47 wasn't a one-position player. It powered F-86 Sabre fighter, B-47 Stratojet, strategic bomber, F-84 Thunderjet or F-84 reconnaissance variants. The B-47 alone used 6 J-47 engines. 6. That bomber redefined nuclear strategy, fast, high-altitude penetration instead of slow, piston-driven formations. The engine wasn't just powering aircraft. It was powering Cold War doctrine. Here's the shocking truth: the Wright brothers couldn't buy an engine. No manufacturer was willing or able to build one light enough. So they did the unthinkable. They built it themselves with the help of their mechanic, Charlie Taylor. They designed and assembled a 4-cylinder, inline piston engine in their bicycle shop. It wasn't elegant. It wasn't polished, but it was revolutionary. But every athlete has a ceiling. By the mid-1950s, the J47's fuel efficiency lagged, thrust increases hit diminishing returns, afterburning designs demanded new architectures. Their engine that taught America to sprint could not carry it into the marathon. New engines emerged: J57, J79, bigger, hotter, more complex. The J47 began to fade from the spotlight. But fading isn't failure. It's succession. Today, no frontline aircraft uses the J47. But its influence is everywhere. It trained engineers, mechanics, supply systems, jet doctrine. It proved axial compressors could be mass-produced, jet engines could be reliable, America could compete and win in jet propulsion. In sports terms, the J47 is the trailblazer, not the GOAT, but the one who made the GOAT possible. Thousands of engineers worked on the J47. Many had never seen a jet before the war. They learned under pressure, trial, failure, redesign, every cracked blade, every flameout, every test stand explosion. This engine represents collective learning at national scale. A country leveling up. The General Electric J47 didn't just push air backward. It pushed history forward, from propellers to supersonic dreams, from wartime desperation to Cold War dominance. It was loud, inefficient by modern standards, and crude compared to what came next, but without it, there is no modern American jet. No Sabre legend. No bomber doctrine. No aerospace superpower. Every dynasty has a first season. For American jet propulsion, the J47 was that season.